Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to look at the Choose Your Own Adventure House of Danger. It's a choose your own adventure game for one or more players ages 10 and up. And look at those dogs. So the rules are the same whether you play with one player or more players. With multiplayer, you just kind of discuss the answers and take turns who reads the clues, but we'll get to that in a minute. But the first thing they want you to do is study the back of the board. It's got a dream sequence, and if you can remember details of this picture, it might help you get clues later in the game. And it says in the book to stare at that for a couple of minutes, so we're not going to do that here, but it is kind of cool art. What do you think that person is? Okay, then you flip the board. This is your board. So to set it up, you take the chapter 1 cards out of the box. You keep the book cover on it. Make sure they're in order by number. Place them over here to the side, and there'll be a place for a discard right next to it. Then you take the clue cards, which are these, starting with clue number 1. Place them to the left of the board, and they'll have space for a discard below. And you take the starter kit cards. These are 2 starter items. Just place them down here where they will come into play later in the game. Then you place the psychic meter at this level 3 on number 3 on the starting spot. That'll advance through the game, and sometimes you'll gain abilities based on that. And you place the little danger meter cube on the lowest, and that will advance, and as that advances, bad things can happen. Make sure you have your 6-sided dice, and now we're ready to play. And I hope you like to read, because this game is like 90% reading. And whether it's multiplayer or single player, the rules are the same. So the first thing you do, whenever you pull a card, keep the cover of the book on top of the stack so that you don't see what's under there. So first thing you do, you read the intro to chapter 1, and it's if you're familiar with the Choose Your Own Adventure books, it's kind of like that. It'll tell you at the bottom you'll have choices of where to go. So this gives you a little bit of setup to the house. It'll say continue to story card 1, and then what you can do is on multiplayer you can take turns passing who reads, and then you can discuss the choices you make. So you would go on to story card 1, you would read all that text, continue to the back, and every card will give you some options. So I'll talk about clues in a second, but as you see at the end, if you search the wall for a way in, go to story card 13. If you climb the gate, go to story card 7. So then you'll go through the deck, find that card. So it's like going to the pages in the book. So on this card, it says draw clue card 26. We'll pull that out. That'll discover the goal. So your goal comes from here, and every chapter will have its own goal. It said clue card 26. Pull that, flip it, and there's your goal. Get inside the house. The goal card goes right there for each chapter. So some of the cards have optional challenges. Let's see if we can find a challenge in here just to show you what they look like. Lots of pictures. Okay, so I see challenges. Some will be required and some will be optional. To perform a challenge, you roll the dice. If it's equal or lower to your danger meter, you win. And they'll tell you, I should have kept one out here. Okay, so if you win, it'll say draw clue 22. If you lose, draw 17. So they'll give you winning or losing conditions. Some of them might raise your challenge meter, some might not. If your dice is equal or greater than your challenge meter, you win the challenge. but you always lose if you roll a 1. You can also use items. Items will help you defeat the challenge, so they'll add to your roll. But you can only use 1 item per challenge. And when you do it, you declare it, put it in that slot there so we know it's been used. And if you roll a 1, you lose the item. Otherwise, you keep it. Some items, though, you discard when you use them, like this one here. Discard to lower your danger meter by 3. And items can only be used in challenges that match their symbol. So every challenge will have one of these symbols. So for example, the knife could only be used in a challenge that has the fist. So you want to have an item for each of those symbols, and you get those items by, when challenges or cards tell you to draw clue cards. And actually, let's look at some of these clue cards. So yeah, there's items. Some of them will tell you things, some of them will give you items. And there's also something called premonitions that you get the same way, and premonitions are a picture like this that you keep and you can put together throughout the game. I think that's the only premonition in the first chapter. And the premonition will give you a clue that you use towards winning the game. And then there's also the psychic meter. So the psychic meter, cards some of the challenges will raise it up, some will lower it down. There's a few cards that will give you a benefit if you have a higher psychic meter. It might be like if your psychic meter is level 2 or more. So you see like this is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So some might say if you're level 3 psychic meter, you can do something. If not, something else happens. And there are cards that can lower that and raise that throughout the game too. But that's really all there is to it. You read the cards, you make your choices, you progress through, and the chapter ends when you get to a card that tells you reached the goal, and then you can go on to chapter 2, which is another stack of cards. If you die, the game isn't over. You just move the psychic meter down 1 and go back to the previous card. And then you can make the choice that doesn't end up getting you dead. So it's kind of cheating. So basically you can just keep playing. And there are 5 chapters. You can play till you go through all of them, or after you get to the end of a chapter you can stop. When you go into the next chapter though, you keep your items, you keep your psychic meter, you keep your danger meter, and you just keep playing. So if you're gonna take a break, mark out where you were so you can continue. Each chapter takes about an hour to play, and if you're a slow reader, it might take a little bit longer than that. And I am a slow reader, but not a slow thinker. Bad joke, I know. But that'll do it for this video. I did do about half of the first chapter on solo play, and it wasn't quite my thing. But it could be fun maybe with the team kind of deciding the choices together. You never know. I'd almost rather read the books. But it is a cool idea. There's a whole bunch of these. House of Danger just happened to be the one I picked up because of that picture right there. That guy looks really cool. But that will do it for this video. I'll be back soon with another. If you'd like to support the channel, check out tabletopjason.com. You can also subscribe to this channel, and if you'd like to see the card game I created, go to 52dragons.com, where you can see the game, see samples, buy the game, or sign up for Patreon for new and exclusive cards each and every month. I'll be back with another video soon, so thanks for watching.